Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 11 of the CJ Harris Show. I'm CJ Harris with you live from my home in Barberville, Kentucky, as we get you set for another week of what should be a good show. We've got some good guests, got a great co-host. He's a little sore, but we're going to get him through the show. He put on a hardcore effort on Friday night, and we'll talk to him more about that later in the show. Our guest tonight, we're going to talk with West Carter head football coach Daniel Barker. Excuse me. This is his third year as the coach. They made state semifinals last year, so they're hoping to make it more to the finals this year. Jason Foley is Southwestern Warriors football head coach. They've been rolling along all year long without just the one loss. We're going to hear from Les Dixon at 9 o'clock. I'm going to talk to him about some football, but mostly I wanted him on here because we're getting into hardcore basketball, getting ready to start here in a couple weeks. And they got some big goings on in the 13th, so we're going to go over and talk with him about that. And either Camille or Courtney will be with us at 9:30. So they were one of them was supposed to let me know. So I'm going to keep my phone open so I can see who it is. With me, Mr. John Noble, the head basketball coach of the Madison County Bobcats. John, it's good to have you with us. First of all, everybody, what's been going on? You're supposed to be a couple weeks ago, but you had a family situation. So Larry Sparks filled in for you and done a tremendous job. And we missed you, but we're glad to have you here tonight.
Oh, listen, I'm tickled to be here. I was glad that Coach Sparks should step in there a couple weeks ago. Coach is I know you obviously know my history with Coach Sparks, and he's a guy that I learned a lot from. Guy that did a lot for me when I was a kid growing up. So for him to be able to step in, I knew that was first of all, that was a major upgrade. But secondly, it just kind of tickles me to have him in there, knowing that I know well that he really enjoyed it.
Oh, he did enjoy it. He had a great time. He wants to do another show, and I told him anytime. When I have you guys on here as our co-hosts, people don't really realize that it's good to have you guys on here because you guys do bring a different variety. Even though you might coach one sport, you guys are really dogs at the other sports. So, I mean, it's good to have you, especially you, because you deal with a lot of stuff, wrestling, baseball, football, basketball. You're dealing in everything, so you would know what's going on.
Right. We try to, obviously we're basketball people, but we try to keep up with other sports. At Breathitt County, we've got a really good football program, so we do keep up with a little bit of football there as well. And I played baseball in college, so there's a little background there. And of course, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, of course, the professional wrestling. So a little bit, I don't know if you call it well-rounded, but I have been around a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, you've done a lot, so I mean, you've done more than I have. I mean, I've seen a lot of sports, but I've not played it. So I wish I had played when I was in school because I think I could have been a pretty good football player. I had good hands when I was younger, but that I didn't get the opportunity to do that. So that was my fault. Let's talk about first of all. Let's talk about UK football. Great win last night for the Cats. I thought that was probably their best team win. They played well as a team, defensively, offensively, special teams. They did everything well.
Yeah, they were the dominant team. I watched pretty much all that game, and they were clearly the better football team. I thought LSU had a couple of nice possessions in the second half offensively, but other than that was almost total domination from start to finish.
Yeah. LSU did do a few good things, but we talked about how they were able to get through it, and I thought Levis yesterday, especially for the first time, showed his true toughness.
You kind of cut out on me. You talking about Levis? You cut out on me there just for a second.
Yes, quarterback.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, one thing I do need to mention to.
I thought
one thing I need to mention to John you're picking me up really late. You might want to click yourself back out and click back in.
Okay, hold on.
John's hopefully we'll get him fixed here in just a second. He's not getting in there. As we go to the show, we're talking about Kentucky's win last night. I thought Levis was tough as nails. 3 touchdowns, throwing 2 rushing, 5 on the total. Really great effort by him. I thought Kentucky's offense really moved the football. They had a couple injuries. Do not know. I have not seen the latest poll. I do know. I do Georgia is the new number one team, but I do not know what.
Are you with me now?
Kentucky is. We've got a phone call, so we've got John back with us. Let's go see if we can get this phone call. Go ahead, caller. You're on the CJ Harris Show. Mr. Ryan Farmer, how you doing, sir?
Okay, sir. How's your family doing?
They're doing well. Everybody's resting. Had a good Sunday at church. Had a good day. So moving on.
Is John?
Yes. John is here. If he can hear you.
Hello, John. How you doing, buddy?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Ryan.
How you doing, John?
Oh, brother, doing great. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well. I know we've got expectations with this team, so what is your plan to try to temper those expectations to get them to stay focused on the task at hand? A lot of people have a lot of big expectations for your team this year, and so does that kind of make your load a little bit more heavy, you think, as a coach?
I think there's a lot of expectation around our team, but you want that, I think. The main thing is, like you mentioned focus. The main thing is that we're talking about kids. You got to work hard every day to keep kids focused on the task at hand, and you really got to do a good job of drowning out the outside noise. And there's more outside noise available to these kids now than probably has ever been. So it really is a hard job as a coach and as their parents and just themselves to kind of drown that out and just stay focused. That's one of our main driving points from this practice.
Well, CJ, you can chime in. Social media has done a lot of things to affect high school, not just high school, college, all sports in general. It's changed the element, it's changed the narrative too in sports in general.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have good media if you want to be able to be talked about good or talked about bad. Now, these coaches have gotten better, have taken criticism. In the past, criticism was not a coach's friend. They took it hard, and they took it. Sometimes you need to hear both sides of the story before you get out there. So, but coaches are doing a lot better job of handling it and being able to not blow their top. And I think it's a good thing.
John, are you looking forward to what kind of season you're going to have? I know you want to play run and gun, but I guess you want to work on your half-court offense too, don't you?
I didn't get that last part. What was that last part?
Talk about what kind of team you'll be in the half court and what kind of team will you be?
I know John likes to run and gun.
I think if you ask most coaches, they'll tell you, they want to run a gun. I think with the team that we have, I think it's definitely something we can do. But I think you guys will agree that really when it comes down to postseason and it starts that grind, more times than not, the best half-court defensive team wins. And, we're really going to focus on trying to be that team. We want to run. We want to push the basketball. We've got some really nice athletic kids, and we want to get them up and down the floor. But at the same time, if we can't knuckle down and guard somebody, it's going to be hard to reach our goals this year.
I agree, John, but I believe you were teaching. You've always been a full-court press defense in person, man-to-man. You're a strong believer in that. And I know it's worked for you in the past, and I see it working in the future, too, also.
I appreciate that. It's only as good as your kids buy into it, Ryan. So we've got really good kids. They're hard workers. They're from good families. They listen to you. They try their best to do everything you have. So I feel like they'll continue to do that this year.
Could you mail me a schedule of 2 minutes or something? So I'd appreciate it if you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
CJ, what do you think about the Maroon County game plan? This is going to be a very interesting game. It's a very winnable game for Pulaski County. I'm looking for it to be a real nip and tuck contest like it was last Thursday night.
Yeah, I do, Ryan. If we get to play. Right now, still up in the air. Morgan County did have COVID. I understand they had several cases of COVID and people quarantining. So we will not know until tomorrow or even maybe Tuesday before if we'll get to play them. So Coach Melton's just hanging on. He expects Morgan County to be ready to go, but we have to wait and see what happens. But it'll be another nip and tuck. I do got to say, I was very proud of our Eagles on Friday night or Thursday night. I thought when it got gut check time, they really came to the forefront, and I think some of the kids growed up. I think on Thursday night.
I agree. John, it's good talking to you, buddy. I appreciate you always. I love you dearly, and CJ, you take care, buddy.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Appreciate your phone call.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Farmer, always dependable. You can depend on him anytime there, John, to give you the knowledge. He knows a lot. We've discussed this before. He knows a whole lot.
Oh, listen, I think the first time I ever met him, it may have been, he may know better than I do. I think it was I used to come over and do the radio show with Mark and Daniel and Tim when they were having the radio show over there at the Hardee's Red Burrito. And I think as soon as I met him and he found out I was from Buckhorn, he just started popping off questions and comments about those 88 and 89. And, it just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, he's well knowledgeable. He knows it. He's very smart. Much like Nolan, our other buddy we got. We'll probably hear from Nolan with a comment later because he loves to get those little nickel and dime comments in there that are really good. They're comments I would never think of, but he's got great questions. I love having him on the show someday, but we'll have to wait and see if we can accomplish that. He's talking about UK football. It looks like we're going to have a top 10 showdown coming up Saturday. Georgia's number 1, and I believe I saw Kentucky is number 10 or 11. So what's your thoughts about that game as we head in? Kentucky, I think, it's a 6.5-point underdog. What are you thinking?
I think obviously it's I would go out on a limb and say it's the biggest game for Kentucky football in an awfully long time. If they were to go down there and beat Georgia, I think, and I'm not a football savant by any chance, but I would have to think if they can go down there and beat Georgia, they have to start getting into that conversation for that playoff.
Oh, no question about it. Yeah, you beat Georgia, then all you have left is a home game with Tennessee and Vanderbilt at home, Vanderbilt on the road, and Coach Stoops said the Eastern Division Championship was something they really wanted to capture. And they're one step towards that coming up Saturday in Athens. If you remember the last time they went to Athens, they had that rainstorm a couple years ago when they had no quarterbacks. And that was when the receiver played quarterback for Kentucky. And they up winning the game. Georgia won the game 21-7. But it was like 7-0 at halftime and like 7-0 going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's especially in weather like that, anything can happen. But now this game on Saturday, Coach Stoops, he's in line. I would have to think he's in line for National Coach of the Year with the job this team has done at this point. But like we said, they go down there, man, and even with a good showing, you hate to think about losing, but even with a good showing, they probably don't drop very far, and there's still one loss. They're still going to have a chance, at least to even move up the ratings at some point. But at the same time, too, somebody's going to have to beat Alabama again. Yeah. And you can't think Alabama's going to come out a little bit different. I think they got caught with their pants down a little bit yesterday, and I think kind of got embarrassed a little bit. And,
but I do think they got exposed. I think Texas A&M exposed them. I think Florida actually exposed them in the first contest early in the year when they had that game down there in Gainesville. And I think Texas A&M took advantage of that. Now, there's only one team left on schedule that Alabama has that I think can give them a problem, and that is Auburn because it's the Iron Bowl. But, I don't know about Tennessee. Tennessee's really coming on strong. really throwing the football around, really making a lot of plays. So we'll get back to that in just a little bit. But Tennessee's a dangerous team. They're starting to really come along now.
Yeah, that was a big win yesterday over Auburn. Looked like they beat them solidly. So that's a step in the right direction for a program that's been struggling for a couple of years now.
Yep. With us now is Coach Daniel Barker of the Comets of West Carter. Coach, it's good to have you with us.
Hey, appreciate you inviting me. Love coming on and talking about our boys.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Got a good team. This is a football team that I don't mean this weirdly, but you're probably a little bit out of sync because you're in there with a bunch of mountain teams, you and Bath County, when you guys probably are used to playing against the Central Kentucky schools. And you have just controlled this district since you got put in here.
Yeah, it's different. We had played Sheldon Clark a little bit. We played him in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I don't think we'd played Prestonsburg since the 80s, and we had never played East Ridge or Shelby Valley, so it was a little bit different for us. But we were excited for it. We've been a 2A program really for the last decade, but it was like almost like we were never put in a district we could really stay in. We were always put in like the Northern Kentucky district, 2 hours, 30 minutes everywhere you go. So they put us in this mountain district, and most of the games are within an hour, hour and a half. So, it wasn't that bad. So we've liked it, and our kids have enjoyed it, and it's been good to meet some different people and see some different teams.
I enjoy watching you guys play in this region. You've been dominating. You dominated this region. I ain't never seen nobody, probably besides maybe a Breath or something, control a region like you guys have. A district, because Shelby Valley's had some really good teams that go in there, and then you guys just take them out. Then you just take control of the district. And last year's team was an example of just total domination the whole year. Even though Kovic was a rough spot to get through, your team was able to maneuver through it very well.
Yeah, well, our kids have just been on board. Their parents, everybody's all in. Our communities really been behind these kids and supportive. We're fortunate. We have first-year principal this year, but she was the assistant last year, and both her and the previous principal have been just totally supportive of everything. So it's been a community effort, but the majority of the credit has to go to our kids. They do whatever we ask, and they take care of business week in and week out.
Got a big win the other night over Prestonsburg. You have what I would call Martin County got a huge win over Shelby Valley. So now that's setting you up for a game with Martin County this week. The big game, because it's probably for the number 1 seed. Because I think Martin County still has one more game they have to play with Prestonsburg. But this is a huge game. Got to get your kids up for it, because Martin County's offense is very tough. They got that sort of that wing tee looking type thing, and they can run the football very well.
I lost you real quick. Let me log right back in.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Okay, that's fine, Coach. We'll get him back in just a second. Yeah, it's a big game, John, between Martin County and West Carter. Well, I don't think Martin County's ever been in this situation since they've been put over here, because they've had several years where they've only won 1 game, 2 games. Now they've had the best record they've had since they got put back in there.
Yeah, so it looks like right between West and Martin at this point.
Right now, the playoffs, the 4 teams are set. Seeding is what's going to be determined probably Friday night, because your guys' game with Martin County is going to probably determine the 1-2. And then Shelby Valley is going to end up finishing 3rd, and Prestonsburg is going to end up finishing 4th if they don't lose to Bath County on Friday night. They're still going to play them. But what's your thoughts about Martin County? I know you've had a chance to watch a little bit of film on them. That's a big game for your kids, and they've improved a ton in the last year or 2.
Yeah, Martin County's they're a good team. I think they've got a lot of kids coming back. That have played, it seems like the same team we played 2 years ago. I think all those guys were sophomores then. We've got our hands full. They've got some good backs. They've got a good line. The quarterback's doing a really good job. Defensively, they got some good guys. So it'll be a really good ball game, really good test for us because they're going to play physical. We like to play physical. We're looking forward to it. We always say that we play to play in big games, and this is as big as it gets because it will determine seeding.
You guys lost in the state semifinals last year, and I know that left a bad taste in your mouth for your kids that returned. Their number one goal is to get to Kroger Field. Mm-hmm. And you can get there, but you're going to have a break or two go your way. Tell me what it's going to take to get to Kroger Field.
Oh, you got to take it one game at a time. I think, if we start getting ahead of ourselves, everybody in our district is so improved. I think if we start scheming and looking at, round 2 or 3 or 4, round 1, we're going to get beat. If Prestonsburg ends up the 4 seed, they're a good ball team. They gave us a lot of trouble the other night, and they're very capable. So I think taking it one game at a time and just continuing to get better. I've been proud of our guys. I think really every week we've improved in some aspect. Now we've kind of put together kind of a complete team where at the beginning of the year, it was just kind of all about defense and trying to keep the score down, and offensively we've really come along. So, it's just developing everybody, staying together, trying to stay healthy and take it one game at a time.
This week, the RPIs ain't come out yet, but your RPI as of last week was 7, and it's starting to go up each week. So that's good news for you. Mm-hmm. So that'll help you if you could advance later down the road. John, got any questions for Coach Barker?
Yeah, just quickly, Coach, appreciate you being on with us this evening. John Noble, I'm basketball coach over at Breathitt County. Was just going to ask you real quick, CJ kind of, there, last year, lost out of the playoffs, and you've kind of dominated this district, as he said, the last couple of years, and you seem to be a team that's getting ready to try to take that next. What have you from last season to this season? What do you feel like what have you really tried to stress in order to help them take?
I think with some of the guys we graduated last year, I think the guys stepping in there, it's like, the expectations don't change. We lost some really good seniors, some of the best players that we've ever had. We had a running back that was as good as anybody. So it's kind of just establishing that, if you're the guy, if you're on the field for us, this is the expectation and this is how we play and this is what we expect of you. And I think our kids have really embraced it. I think early in the year they were thinking about I'm replacing this guy. This guy was here last year, and I'm trying to fill in for him. And now they're just kind of taking ownership of it. And I mean, you can see it every week. Our sophomores and juniors, and even some of the seniors that are stepping into new roles, are really taking ownership and doing a good job. I couldn't be more proud of our kids and the things that they've done for the program this year.
As coaches, we all kind of try to talk to each other when we can and take stuff from each other, regardless of the sport. And that's something that we really try to hope to get is, it sounds like you've got your standards set, and as your kids are coming through the program, they know the standard because they've seen the standard.
Yep.
And that's really what makes a program move from one level to the next, and that's outstanding what you guys have got going over there.
Well, it's been a lot of hard work. It wasn't built in a day. Coach Brown did a great job, really sustaining and building this program. We've just tried to build on and build off of what he did. And everybody's been all in, from our kids to their parents to our assistant coaches, community. So you guys know, I mean, it's a community effort. Any sports program you have, it takes everybody. And we're very fortunate at West Carter.
Well, Coach, I love watching you. I've seen lots of highlights of your team, and I think you guys are one of the hardest working teams on the field. I mean, your work ethic is what I've noticed more than anything when you guys are out there, and I think that's just the sign of good coaching, and you guys really getting prepared every week.
Well, it's good parenting too. During the summer, our boys we practice in the evening so they can work during the day. So they farm. We've got a kid that works in oil. I mean, they do it all. I think our community, the parents have really encouraged kids to do their best and to work and take pride in what they do, and that makes it easy for us. They're having to do that at school and at home and in their jobs, and then they come to us, and it's just the same thing. So,
well, Coach, it's been an honor to have you on the show. Would you come back again? I'd like to have you back again.
Yeah. Anytime. I'll talk about our kids anytime we can. So,
yeah. Of course, people don't know West Carter in baseball are located in the 16th region, but in football, they're located in Class 2A, Region 8, District 8, Region 4. So they got. Let me give you your remaining games, Coach, and I'll let you get out of here. You got Martin County at home, which is your last home game, and then your last 2 games on the road at East Ridge, and then the road trip to Russell Red Devils on week 10. So, but Coach, thank you so much for being on the show. I'll holler at you again, and good luck, and you guys keep plugging it on.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Go Comets.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Coach Daniel Barker of the West Comet. There he's back with us. He's a good coach, John. This is his 3rd year as the head coach of West Carter, and they had just dominated this district. I don't think they've lost a district game in 3 years. You see, they've been in this realignment. They ain't lost a game in 4 years. I don't think. I can remember back looking at the schedule. I don't think they've lost a district game in 4 years.
That's a good run. That's like he was talking about. Sounds like they're ready to take that step up.
Yeah. Well, they're a good football team. I mean, you talk about West Carter, you don't know sometimes you get these mountain districts, you get a team in there that you don't know a whole lot about. Case in point, like Powell County is in a district with Mason County, Pendleton County, Lewis County, but them schools from basketball, but you don't know them from football. Then you would think Powell County would be in a district with Estill, Breathitt, but hopefully when realignment comes back around in 23, they'll fix some of those problems, because I know teams like West Carter then probably feel more comfortable playing against teams closer to their area. I mean, it's hard to get on a bus and travel all the way to Shelby Valley, which from West Carter is, what's that, about 3-hour trip?
I would imagine it's I don't know if it's 3 hours. West Liberty down the Mountain Parkway. I don't think it's quite. It's a good drive, but and that's kind of the too. I think a lot of people don't understand. These bus trips aren't cheap. And in football, a lot of those teams taking 2 or 3 buses. So like with us with basketball in our district, the farthest drive we got is 20 miles.
Yeah.
So and we got 1 bus, and we go 20 miles, and it's still $100. But it's everybody's got to make their money, but it's extremely difficult on these schools. And I imagine, especially the smaller schools, that's have to drive 2.5 hours for a district game is that's a pretty big burden financially. I know our team at Breathitt drives to Middlesboro, with 2 buses, and that's a pretty big burden financially. So hopefully, I'm sure that's been expressed to the KHSAA, and I'm sure they'll do their best to try to alleviate some of that.
I had Coach, Mr. Tackett on first of the season. We talked about that a little bit. Was it realignment going to? Is it? You just want to know. Can there's a way to get these teams where they don't have to travel so far? I mean, basketball you can do that. Football, I know it's a little harder. So you go. It's to see. We've had a couple of comments since we've been on. Justin Tackett said, "Who is Shelby Valley?" Well, they put
that guy's a Tackett. Tackett's over that way. So I don't know.
Yep. And Kyle says that Powell and Estill are 3A. Breathitt is 2A. Well, I know that, Kyle. I'm fully aware of that.
Kyle's got to get. How that is. Kyle's got to get.
I know. He don't think I know anything, apparently, half the time. I mean, I know a lot. I was just making a point. Sometimes when Kyle makes a point, I don't correct his point. So I figured he would correct my point. So
Yeah, Kyle is all signer, for region, and does a tremendous job. I can't.
He does. He's a busy man now. Kyle does he's got a lot of hats he does, and it's hard for him to stay still. He said, he come back and said, well, that's why that I ain't the same. That's why they're not in the same district or something. LOL. So yeah. I'm glad that Kyle's watching the show. I mean, because we're going to talk about something a little bit later in the show between you and him. That's going to set something up for Thanksgiving. So we'll talk a little more about that later. And Karen says, who is the best wrestler? I guess she's asking you. So I'm guessing who in the, I guess, WWE and AEW. Who do you think's the best wrestler?
The best wrestler, I don't really watch a lot, surprisingly. Oh gosh, I don't know. I guess it just depends on what you're looking for. Heck, I don't know. I always say me when they ask me that question.
And Kyle has said, Kyle had to get his 2 cents back here again. You said you didn't know why Breathitt wasn't in a district with Powell and Estill. No, I said Powell was in a district with teams in Mason. Powell, Mason County's all the way up in what? Close to Ohio. So Powell County has to travel from there to Mason County for a football game. What is that, 3+ hours? When would it be easy to put Powell, whose enrollments went down a whole lot, put them back in 2A, or you know what I mean, John. Kyle's just trying to get me tongue-tied.
Rattled, CJ.
He's got me rattled already. See, he does it pretty well.
All right.
Karen says, I already knew John Noble. I guess she was talking about you being the best wrestler. So
Karen knew the answer to that. What's she asking?
Karen Cottle, if you know her, Betty Vaughn. She's one of the. She likes to keep us on her toes here. So is Kyle. So we're supposed to hear from Coach Foley here in just a little bit. Let me make sure that I've not messed something up here. And I told you to call us at 8:30. Now, sometimes coaches get a little busy, so I understand that. I wanted to go over with you real quick the All-A bracket. I've got it right here. Okay. Larry sent it to me. We'll just get a quick chance to go over this real quick. The All-A basketball tournament bracket was drawn back in the spring. Want to go over this real quick, and I'll let me go over it, John, then you can talk about it.
Okay.
The top bracket consists of Owsley County and Wolfe County. They're going to play each other in the first game. Then Knott got a bye. They'll play the winner of that game. Buckhorn will play Hazard, and Lee County got the bye. They will play the winner of that game. Then the winners of those games will move on to semifinals. Breathitt, your team, will play Jackson City. Then Cordia will play the winner. Cordia team, I will be interested to see what kind of team Cordia has this year. JBS, they got a bye. Leslie County got a bye. They're automatically in the second round. They will play each other. Winner goes on to the semis. The winner of the Cordia Johnson Central Breathitt will go on to the semis as well. The semifinals for the All-A is January the 8th. It's going to be a Saturday. It's going to be boys at 12 and 2, and the girls at 4 and 6. And then the championship games on Sunday. The 9th at 2 o'clock for the boys, and 2 o'clock for the girls, and 4 o'clock for the boys. I need to flip-flop the times on the boys on January 8th. The girls play at 12 and 2. The boys play at 4 and 6. So, but that's the All-A bracket. We'll go over that more of the weeks to come. But just an idea, Coach. You got the Jackson City team don't know much about. We'll have a new coach. Plus, you're going to be playing a Cordia team you don't know anything about. But from year to year, it's been very athletic.
Yeah. We know we know a little. We pulled up the roster the other day. You got 3 new kids on there from out of the area. From what we've been able to find out, all of them are really nice players. So, Cordia was a team last year. I felt like they were just 1 or 2 pieces away from being really, really good. So I don't doubt they haven't found those pieces at this point. Naz Welch came back. He's as good as any player that you're going to see in Eastern Kentucky, especially. Jago Robinson was a kid last year that if he had been there maybe a little longer, had time to get his feet under him a little more, maybe would have been a really standout top player. And then the little Brooks guy that can absolutely light it up from about 30 feet and in. I think he's going to be a freshman for him this year. And then the 3 new kids, like don't know a lot about them, but we've kind of researched that down a little bit and tried to find out some. But they're going to have 6 from the looks of it. They're going to have 6, 7 really solid players, so it gives them a little bit of depth and a little bit of size. And of course, they're going to run the floor and get after us, and it'll definitely be a good test for us. Lord willing, everything goes all right with Jackson City, of course.
You're going to get a chance to see Cordia actually in a scrimmage panorama at Betsy Lane because you guys play in the 3rd game, they play in the 2nd game, so you'll get a chance to right off the bat early in the year to get to see Line, so that'll help you out for later down the road.
Yeah.
That's go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to mention that this year's All A was supposed to have been in Owsley County. I have been informed, and you can tell me if I'm correct or not, this going to be moved to Knott County?
Last I heard, I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard a ton, but the last I heard that it was going to be moved to Knott County Central.
Okay. Yes, that's what I'm hearing. So, because I know you all you've been aware that Bobby Bowling, athletic director at Owsley County, has been going through a lot of sickness and stuff. We pray for him every day and every time we can. And also we want him, it's just too hard for him to gather enough people up and do that. I know that his energy level probably, he needs to take it easy because need to take care of himself.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know Bobby, and anybody knows Bobby. Bobby loves basketball. He loves the athletic director job, and I'm sure he's not 100% comfortable if he can't give it his all and make it the absolute best it can possibly be. He would probably rather not do it than have it not be the best that it could. And he's that kind of guy. He takes a lot on, maybe takes too much on sometimes, everything considered. But he's just a guy that I'm sure if he had felt that they could have done it the way they wanted to do it, they would have. But other than it be less than that, it was just best for them to let it move on, I suppose.
All right, I got some more comments while we've been talking. Kyle said, if you just take your time, you will not get tongue-tied. Thank you, Kyle. I will take that advice. My good friend Billy Brock says, hang in there, CJ. LOL. Then Karen just wrote back and said, what are you doing with John Noble on the show? And you gotta have the best, Then Karen wants to know, what do I think about Letcher Central boys? Probably the boys and girls both. I know the boys team's got a new coach.
Yes.
Don't know much about him. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I know nothing about him.
I'm familiar.
Go ahead.
Coach Matthew is actually from Whitesburg. Well traveled. He's coached at various levels. He's had success at various levels. I think maybe his last job or one of his last jobs was at the Division I level. He was at UPike for a number of years. He coached a very good player named Mason Faulkner at Caverna High School a few years ago, and he knows the job. He's going to do a good job. He's going to have those guys. They're going to play hard, and he's an upbeat. He's an up-tempo coach, but he's also an upbeat, and he's got a lot of personality. And I think the kids over there are really going to kind of respond to that.
Yeah, I'm going to miss Winston. I've had Winston on the show early in the year. I think that he's going to do a good job at Jenkins, but I miss him at Letcher. Got a couple other comments while we've been, again, Kyle back in here again. He says, AMW's getting the same comments. Why, what are we doing with John Noble on the show? Okay, I don't know. Okay, Kyle had to get back in there again. And then Nolan has here's Nolan for tonight. He's let me know that Olivia Farmer, I guess, do you all know Olivia Farmer? She played at Leslie County. She was assistant coach at the University of Cumberland. I had her on the show towards the end of last year. She's the new girls coach at Shelby County. And Nolan is wrote me and says Olivia Farmer, coaching grade school and assistant at Shelbyville. Actually, she's the girls basketball coach, varsity coach at Shelby County. Nolan. And it says Coach Noble in February at Newport, then down to Grant County. You got a trip where you go to Newport down to Grant County.
I believe it is February 13th. Yes.
Yeah. And then he says Whitesburg is at West Carter was a major game in 1988 to 1996 for girls basketball. Nolan. Yes, it was Nolan. They had some Whitesburg really had some great teams from 88 to about 90.
That would have
7 when John High was there. When John left and they formed Letcher Central. They formed Letcher Central till later, but John High had a big impact on that Whitesburg program. And another comment from my good friend Billy says that Todd Melton wanted to tell me hi. So, guys, keep those comments coming. I love this. This is fun. But first to Nolan, he asked Coach Noble, talk about your trip to Newport and then going to Grant County.
Okay, yeah. One of the things we started trying to do is in late January, early February, just kind of take an overnight, kind of get the boys away from the area a little bit and just, play a couple games, kind of spend a little extra time together. The boys enjoy it, and we always try to go somewhere where we're where we're not playing. We couldn't do it last year because of COVID, obviously, but we always try to go somewhere where we're going to see somebody that we wouldn't normally see. Now, Newport is an every-year game for us. There's a lot of family connections in Newport and Breathitt County. A lot of people from Breathitt have moved up to the Newport, Cincinnati area. We went and played Newport a couple of years ago and had our crowd was as big as theirs, maybe bigger, because there are just so many Breathitt County people that lived up there. So it's always a special trip. And then Grant County the day after, it's right there close by. We had played them a couple of years ago at Breathitt and owed them a game that we didn't get to play last year. So, we just offered to just do it then. That way we could just, play them both back to back.
I agree with you 100%, John. I'm a firm believer of the middle of the year. I've always liked games where you can take your team away from the situation and let them go be together, because you're getting close to tournament time. They need to start bonding together and be do some things together. And I know some coaches say they don't have the money, or but we find ways to be able to do stuff like that. Hopefully you can work it out and get them to do that, because it's a lot of fun when you can have these team bonding things. And I commend you for that, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But
we got to get on that fundraising. We've got a trip to Florida coming up week after Christmas too. So we got a lot of money to raise.
Where you going to Florida?
It's down at Freeport High School. It's in the Panhandle over there, close to Destin. I went there with Buckhorn several times. This is my second trip with Breathitt. Just a really good tournament, and really good comp. They've really upgraded the tournament the last few years. We're playing a team called Good Hope, Alabama. They won what would be the equivalent of a regional champion here is what they did down there last year. Got a couple really nice players back. Got a second team All-State player back. They're going to be a handful.
Okay, Kyle has come back on again with another comment. I was saying hello to Todd Melton. Let me find my Kyle latest one. Well, we just don't take them to Vegas. You don't make sure they get married. He's a wild man tonight. I can tell you that already. He must not have much to do.
Ashley must not be letting him. Must have kicked him out of the house or something. Made him.
I love this. This is why I love this show. This is so much fun. Coach Foley's apparently gotten busy, so we got Les Dixon coming up at 9:00. I know got a lot to talk with him about. I know he's not going to be a good move today. Les is not. The Bengals losing. losing on a field goal at the buzzer today to the Packers, but played well. I thought they played really good today. They had their chances too. They really flubbed it up in the fourth quarter. But to take the Packers to overtime, I think the Bengals are for real.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't really catch it. I just kind of kept up with it, saw the scores, and saw the comments stuff on Twitter, which I'm a big Twitter guy. Caught comments on there. But the Bengals, Joe Burrow, he's a leader.
Yeah.
Hopefully he left the game injured. Is that right?
Did not hear that part. I quit watching it in the start of the fourth. Then I saw the final. So because I was preparing for the show. So Coach Foley is. I'm letting him know. Yes, we're ready. We're ready for him. Let me go ahead and see if we can get that going. Okay. Hopefully we'll get him on a just. But hopefully he didn't get hurt, because if he did, I don't know that I didn't see that anywhere. Let me see if ESPN might have it in their headlines, because that would be a big headline. Sometimes let's see. Brady throws for 5 touchdowns in the win, but hurts his thumb. The Giants lose Barkley again. Burrows took to the hospital with a throat injury. Got hit in the throat. So you were right on that. The Jags have lost 20 straight games. Georgia is the number 1 team. Alabama only dropped to number 5.
Right. That makes
lost the snap. Let's see. And everything else is just normal. So, but he got hit in the throat. So, hopefully he's okay. And I guess Barkley got hurt again for the Giants. So, hopefully he's okay. The Giants can't afford to lose him, because they lost him all last year because of the knee injury. I don't know exactly what he had, but I don't know the injury, so we'll have to wait and see. Derek Flitchen, our good buddy John, is watching the show.
Derek's one of the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if he's got some free time. I'd like to have him on the show. It's a good opportunity to have a officials side of things. We've always had coaches on here. How about an official side of things, and let them give their thoughts about what they think about doing their sport and stuff like that. So we'll try to get Derek on the show later this season. I would love to have him on here. That would be a great thing. I know this one will probably blow your mind. Keith Hall. I like Keith. Bring Keith Hall here. That would be an interesting one. He would give us a lot. Yep. And you've got a young man down there in Jackson, and I'm going to try to get on the show here in about 2 or 3 weeks for a guest, Wallace Bates. I interviewed Wallace a couple weeks ago. Wallace is a dandy.
If you want the roof, Wallace Bates is your man.
He's a dandy. I saw him when I done the Perry Central game, and he was. I interviewed him at halftime. It was a great interview with him. Derek says I would love to be on your show. So Derek, we will set that up. I will set that up. But I told Wallace I wanted to get him on the show, because he is he's got a good story. A lot of people don't know about Wallace Bates. Wallace played alone, coached at Breathitt County for quite a while, Jackson City.
He had a pretty good run at Owsley.
Yeah, he really did. Kyle's back again. He said leaving Keith Hall on the talk would blow a lot of minds. Yeah, Ashley must have sent him to do some other chores tonight, because he's in rare form. I like this. Earlier today, I just sent a video out. I told people, I said, guys, you're going to watch the show. I want you to leave comments. I want you to let's start a dialogue and things, because this show is for you. It's not just for the kids, not for the coaches, and it's for everybody. I want everybody to just have a good time. This is a good opportunity to spend a couple hours together and really have a good time. And this is, as long as you don't get negative and talk about nobody and hurt nobody's feelings, I want you to leave comments. I love it. It's awesome. Well,
now Wallace would definitely be ratings gold. Kyle's
yeah.
And I think on, I think you have to bring Patrick Wooten on. That would because you really want the combo right there. That'd be the dynamic duo, right?
All right, let me try to go ahead and talk, John, while I try to help Coach Foley get on there.
All right, Wallace. Kyle still got on there about Wallace being rated as gold. Funny story about Wallace Bates story. We were up when I was at Buckhorn doing the YMT. I was Ashley Roombaker is doing what she's told to do, which makes me so clearly home. All right. So anyway, Wallace, we were doing the WYMT interviews, and I was at Buckhorn then, and he had just taken the job at Jackson City. So he's in there. You know Wallace. You know Wallace. You always hear Wallace before you see him, and that's just personality. They start talking, and they say, Wallace or Coach Bates, what do you think about this year's team? And he looks at the camera, and keep in mind, he's his first year coach at Jackson City. Team's really young, really inexperienced. And he looks right at the camera, and he goes, Randy Napier, we're coming for you. I love it. Head coach of Jackson City. He was ready to take Randy Napier down.
He's ready for anybody. I mean, if you never watched him coach, you missed the most entertaining 2 hours that you've ever been a part of. I mean, he brought, some people would not leave until the game was over, regardless what the score was, just to watch him.
I always tried to leave because I was afraid he was going to be naked before the night was over.
I remember it wasn't the all-A
in a three-piece suit. He would start in a three-piece suit, and by the second half, he's down to a white T-shirt and his pants, and that's it.
Kyle says Wallace Bates did the Booker T coming from Hogan's promo. I don't know what that means, but
it was not quite that level, but it was pretty good.
Oh, we're having a blast here. Wallace is I think what people also don't realize too is his military service that he's performed, and that is any of our military people. We love our military because we really appreciate what they've done for everybody. Keith Hall has now joined the party. John, he says Kyle Maggart, what? But but he talked about his military a little bit in the interview I done with him in between halftime of the Prairie Breathitt game. I mean, he said a long road to go, hasn't he?
He has. He was injured in a bicycle accident a couple of years ago that really hurt him, and he's had to bounce back from that. And then Wallace does a lot for the kids in the area that people don't know about. There's kids over there in the area in which he lives around there, that kind of struggle a little bit. And Wallace takes a lot of those kids under his wing and tries, give them some odd jobs and stuff to do, and does a lot for them. He was actually the best man at one of their weddings this past summer. So Wallace has done a lot of good for a lot of people.
I'm sending Coach Foley another invite, and we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we get that. Yeah, Wallace has done a lot, and people don't understand how much he's done for them. So Kyle has come back with a comment. Keith Hall tells Kim that I said hi. So tell Kim he said hi. Yeah. Tell John quit. Okay, yeah. I'm glad Keith's watching because I didn't hear from him last week. He didn't. Usually he'll tell me he's watching. Usually, but this first time he's watching quite a while.
If he gets him, if he'll come on the show with Patrick Wooten, we'll take care of that. We'll see if we can't work to put that on there. That would be an interesting team. But we talk about different stuff, different variety of people on the show. I was talking about referees. It's hard to be an official these days. I was just watching football the other night, and our officials are doing the best they can in any sport they're doing.
So, I mean, sometimes we just got just a little bit of patience with them.
Yeah, it's a hard job, man, and those those guys and those women, man, they're not making a ton of money as it is. It's a very difficult job, and and there's actually a referee shortage because of those type things.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know last year I saw a lot of officials calling that hadn't. Some of them was their first year officiating, and some of them said it was pretty tough, pretty rough.
Yeah, it was. I looked out there a couple times last year. We had kids fresh out of high school out there calling, and those guys did a good job, and hopefully they have it and get a little more experience. But we do have some good young officials, but now our numbers are starting to drop.
Yeah. Well, that's why the KHSAA does say they want as many people to come and be a part of it, and sign up with the KHSAA. I think there used to be a rule. You could tell me you had to have 3 years of a JV freshman before you could do varsity, but with the limited officials having now, some of them's going straight to varsity.
Yeah, they're having to, but just because of the shortage. We still got the number of games that we've always had, maybe even more, but they're just not enough officials to fill those things. I really think we're going to see the effects of that this year. I would look for some games on some odd nights you wouldn't normally see because of that shortage.
Yep. I believe we've got Coach Foley with us from Southwestern. Coach, are you with us?
I'm with you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. We just cannot see you.
Okay, let me see if I can do anything with this camera here.
Coach, you're doing great so far. You've gotten this far. I believe I've got confidence in you. You can get further.
Well, we'll try here.
But while you're doing that, we can still. Okay, he'll come back in just a second. Les Dixon's gonna come on at 9, so I'm just gonna bring Les into this. Bring him on here with us so he can listen, and then we'll get his interview after we get done with Coach Foley.
I need to duck out for just a minute, okay?
Go ahead.
But I'll be right back here shortly, okay?
Okay. All right. So,
okay, thank you.
Coach Noble will need to go out for just a second. We're going to get Coach Foley back in here. Coach, are you with me?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can get this cam working. Hang on just a second. I got one of my other guys here with me.
But while you're doing that, while you're trying to get the picture up, we can still talk. So, Coach, you've had a really great start. Okay, he's out again. He'll be back with us in just a second. He's trying to get his camera fixed first. John had to duck out for just a second. We're getting ready for the second hour of the C.J. Harris Show. It's been a great first hour. A lot of great comments. Great job by everybody. We're going to go ahead and let Good evening, sir.
Yep, I can hear you.
I'm going to let you join us right now because I got Coach Foley from Southwestern. He's going to be joining us in just a second. So I'm just going to let you join the party so you can come here and join us. And then I'll talk to you after I talk with Coach Foley.
Okay, that's fine. I'm here on vacation at a restaurant, so that will probably give you some good time to talk to Coach Foley anyway. And I can let you guys talk as soon as he gets on. I appreciate, as always, the good job that you do, and I also appreciate you allowing me on here. And CJ, if I could use your format just for a second, we were supposed to have a show on the 13th Region Media Network at 8 today, and because of technical difficulties, we weren't able to have the show. Okay. So I'm just letting people know that. We're hoping to reschedule former Corbin coach Larry Cotton Adams in the future. He was supposed to be our guest tonight. So I appreciate you allowing me to do that. But what's going on, my friend?
Coach Foley is with me now. Coach, can you hear me?
I've got you here. We're still trying to figure this out with the camera. I don't know. I've got another laptop here. I'm trying to get it up on.
Okay, that's fine.
We're having some difficulty with it.
Well, that's fine.
I think we should have it in just a second. Okay,
you're doing good. You're doing real good. Coach, while you're doing that, I can ask you some questions. You guys have been it's been a big year for you guys. You've been playing some really good football out there in 5A. I know 5A's only got 5 mountain teams, but you guys have really been turning it on this year.
Well, I appreciate it. We've definitely went off to a good start. You know, we're sitting at 2-0 in district play right now, and you know, trying to get everybody back healthy. We had a little run there a couple of weeks. We had some guys out, but I think we're getting healthy, and so that's been big, getting everybody back and going strong.
I had Coach North Laurel coach on here a couple weeks ago. We talked about how your guys' game with them I thought would be a really good matchup. But you guys, you and Pulaski both really have the last couple of weeks shown that you guys are still the main two teams in this region or in this district, because there were some impressive wins, especially. You know, North Laurel has been averaging about 40 points a game coming into your game. You held them to 7, and then they only scored 14 against Pulaski. I know you got a huge win over Whitley County this past Friday. They're still adjusting to a new coach.
Right.
Then you got a couple of road games coming up. You got South Laurel on the road, and then you got the big one a week from Friday night. In Pulaski County High School, the Don Franklin Bowl between you guys and Pulaski County. But your team last year you guys lost to Frederick Douglass in the state semifinals. You got a lot of kids returned from that team. Tell me how determined that they are to get back to that spot again.
Well, I mean, it was certainly a great run for us last year, you know, and we got through district, won the district, and actually played Frederick in that region championship game. And it was a war. You know, we come down, had a shot there at the end, you know, went for 2, come up about 6 inches short, and they beat us by a point. So we've been very motivated throughout the offseason. You know, like you mentioned, we do have several kids returning, especially offensively. I think we had 9 to 10 returners, and we had about 6 or 7 defensively that returned. And so those kids have been very motivated. They had a great offseason and been off to a good start. Like you said, district play, we knew coming in North Laurel was going to be really good. They started off 5-0, and we came out and I thought played really well defensively against those guys and made it difficult. Their quarterback's, you know, playmaker, and I think we got some heat on him and made it tough. So we were happy to get that win against a good football team, and then come back and took care of business last week against Whitley too. We've got South Laurel this week, and then, like you mentioned, come down to the showdown with Pulaski. It's always a big game every year, and it seems like it's been like that way for a decade now. So
I don't want to put a spin on the game because I know you don't want to look ahead because you got South first. You got to take care of them because they're a team with a quarterback, the Collett kid, who's got a nice arm.
Yeah, well, you never want to underestimate anyone. You know, it's got to be week by week, and every opponent, you know, for us, we just try to focus on each and every week, and just trying to focus on right now going 3-0. I know Jeff Irwin, this is his first year at South Laurel, and he's trying to get things turned around, and I know he's got a good track record, and I'm sure with time he'll go get them going and back where he wants them to be.
And then, of course, the game on October 22nd, everybody's going to be wanting to see that. You know very well what kind of athlete Drew Poston is. He's an unbelievable quarterback. He can move on the run, can throw on the run. He's just got so many phenomenal things he can do. Talk about, I know you don't want to talk ahead, but just talk a little bit about that game because Coach Poston's really been – we're going to bring you on this one. Okay, we got you here. And
You got me now?
Turn you down just a little bit there, Coach. Okay, can you hear me?
You got me now.
There we go. There we go. But talking about Pulaski County's quarterback, I really believe when he's on the field, Pulaski County is just as good as anybody playing. But when he's not on the field, they're a lot different football team. So talk about him because he's a phenomenal quarterback.
Yeah, well, you know, believe it or not, years ago I coached that kid. Back when I was coaching at Northern Middle School, he was a 7th grader for me, and we won a state championship with him. That was my last year as a middle school coach before I went to Taylor County. And I have a ton of respect for Drew Poston. He's a playmaker. He makes it go for Pulaski County, and, you know, just a tremendous kid, high character kid, but he's a heck of a football player too. And we know our work's cut out. Anytime you got someone like that run the show, they've always got a chance. So have a ton of respect for him.
Yeah, you've got a really good quarterback. Your quarterback's been really racking up the numbers this year. But I think the one thing I've noticed about you is your running game.
Right.
Solid as a rock. I mean, you're averaging, I could be wrong, 250, 300 yards a game on the ground. Really, really pounding the football. But you got to give credit to the offensive line because they're doing such a great job blocking.
Yeah, well, we have two young quarterbacks. First, our starter is Colin Burton. He's a sophomore. He was new to our school this year, and it took him a month to get used to our system. And he's been playing very well the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've also got a young freshman, Ryan Anderson, who's very capable too. So we're excited about our quarterbacks in the future. But like you mentioned, our bread and butter has been our run game. We've got 4 or 5 backs that can flat run the football. And I think there for a while, I think we're averaging over 300 rushing on the year. And but it does start up front. We had 4 of 5 offensive linemen returning from last year's team that played in that region championship. And so there's a lot of experience there. And I told them we'll go as far as they take us. And we definitely put a lot of emphasis with our offensive line.
We talk about why Kentucky's been so successful this year is the big blue wall. Kentucky's offensive and defensive lines have been the thing why Kentucky's been so good. Your defensive line has just been whipping people all day long. It's hard. I don't think too many teams have had over less than 200 yards against you guys because your defense is so solid.
Yeah. Well, we knew coming into the season, I felt like our defensive line may be the strength of our team, along with our running backs and offensive line. But, yes, I mean, we're fortunate. Guys like Cody Harmon, Maddox Mink, John Poe, that's 3 guys that's got a lot of experience on that defensive front. We even moved Gideon Brainerd some down, who plays linebacker for us. Jadon Washington, Nick Tucker. We've got 7, 8 kids that can make plays on the defensive line, and I think that has definitely been the strength and the forte of our defense the first part of the season.
Yeah. Coach Noble, you got anything you want to ask Coach Foley?
Yeah, sure, Coach. John Noble. I'm the basketball coach over at Breathitt County. So
okay.
Thanks
for having me.
Barker earlier from West Carter. As one coach, we always talk and look at coaches in every sport. Especially when it comes to the mental aspect of the game. So, coming out of that regional game last year where you guys came up short, was there any 2 or 3 things in particular that you tried to really drill and instill in the guys to get them ready for this season to help them maybe take that next step and get past that regional championship game? Was there anything in particular that you really keyed on those guys?
Well, I think, it all started in the weight room for us. We put a heavy emphasis with our speed training. Anytime you play a team like Frederick Douglass, I felt like physically we was able to match up, but they've got so many tremendous athletes out there. And so I think in the secondary, your defensive backs, you got to be pretty good to be able to stop a team like that. So we did put a lot of emphasis in the offseason with just especially our speed development. Now, I've always been big in the weight room. I've always put a lot of emphasis in our strength program, but I think maybe this offseason we did try to focus a little bit more on the lateral and just the speed, explosive movements that we do.
Okay, and I noticed you guys scored a lot of points, put up over 50, looks like 4 times out of 7 games. That's a lot of points. And I'm just going to ask you, too, real quick. Looked like you had a really tough loss to Mercer County.
Yeah.
And since then, you've really kind of handled your next 3 opponents. Was there anything coming out of that game? Because that's got to be a disappointing loss, especially with a good football team like yours. Is there anything coming out of that game that you told your kids to get them right mentally for these next 3 games, which obviously something worked because you're handling everybody right now. But was there anything in particular there?
Well, it was very interesting. We started off the season, of course, we come out with Madison Southern, who had been to 2 region championship games just like us. And kids were extremely motivated. We played well. Come back with West Jessamine and Simon Kenton and really played well. And then we had a bye week, and we had a ton of momentum. We were sitting at 3-0. We had a bye week, and that's always tricky. I felt like, from my experience, my teams have kind of played their worst after a bye week sometimes.
Right.
I think it's just the momentum. and just kind of getting out of sync. But on top of that, for whatever reason, we kind of got hit with some quarantine issues that week. My D coordinator was out. My line coach was out. We did have about 7 to 8 of our varsity kids that was out that game, and not making excuses, because I'm telling you, Mercer County's Coach Buchanan does a great job. But we were down a little bit, and we just came up short. I give all the credit to Mercer. I mean, they played a great game that night. I felt like we didn't play our best game, and they got us. But after that, our kids have responded very well. And I think we've gotten, focused again. And it's been nice getting 4 or 5 of those kids back that was out there for a week or two. And we've kind of got them back going now. And anytime you get that kind of depth, it really helps you.
All right.
Coach, one couple of things I'm going to let you go. I love watching you coach. You stepped in right behind a legend in Larry French, who's now at Middlesboro. He's doing his thing now. He's starting to get that program going. When you first got there, even though you were well known in the county for coaching at middle school and stuff, what did it take when you came back from Taylor County to come to Southwestern to rebuild yourself to get the kids to buy in?
Yeah, that's always, an interesting thing. When I left Northern Middle School to go to Taylor County, I followed up Dudley Hilton. So I followed up 2 legends, at both places. And we got over there to Taylor County, and it was kind of similar when I went to Taylor, because you have to get your culture created when you go to a place, and that we had it going strong. We'd won that region championship at Taylor County, and then Southwestern opened back up, and I just love the area. It was like home to me. I grew up in Russell Springs, which is the county over, Russell County from Pulaski County, and it was kind of like home. And when I came here, you're right, it did take some time to just getting kids to buy in, because it's a new culture, new system, and new way of doing things. But they did a great job. About mid-season that year, I think they bought into what we were doing. And administration's been great. Community support's been great. And we've got it going strong. And we definitely want to get to that next step. Our goal is to win regions and try to get to Kroger Field. I think that's what a lot of people's goals are, and that's what we want to do. And we've had a good football program here. It started in '93, and Southwestern football has always been pretty strong. But we're ready to take the next step and try to take it to the next level.
One more thing, I'll let you go. I know a lot of these teams around the state are remodeling their fields, turf. And I've not been to your place in quite a while, but you guys still don't have a turf field, right?
We don't yet, but it has been approved, and it's looking like next year we'll have it. Okay. Both the county schools should have it in play. If not the start of the season, hopefully within couple games into it, we should have it. So.
I know. I'm from Leslie County, and we're getting a turf field.
Okay.
We're going to be starting on our field next week.
You say you're from
Leslie County? Yep. We're going to tear everything down, and we're going to redo it all. So it's going to be.
I think they're going to I think ours will be starting full-fledged definitely by March. And my understanding is, a turf field and new track and stadium lots. So it should be a real fun thing next year for sure in the 2022 season.
Yeah. Coach, it's been an honor to have you on here. I've been wanting to interview you for a long time. I've seen your interviews that you have with the Cumberland Valley sports people there, because they do a really good job of covering you guys over there in the 12th, because a lot of people, I cover you guys a lot because you guys, I require your mountain schools to me. I don't care how far you are over Somerset, you're still a mountain school. And I enjoy watching you, and enjoy watching you coach. And would you come back? I would like to have you back on the show again.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me. It's my pleasure. And, you talk about mountain, I've got a little bit of an old school approach. I like smash mouth football. And so I think I play a little bit of that mountain style football a little bit, so definitely. I appreciate you having me though. It's been fun.
Yeah. Yep. I know you got that big game in 2 weeks. I'm going to have Coach Hines on next week. He's going to be joining me. So we'll get his side of the game that's coming up on October the 22nd. It's going to be the Don Franklin Bowl, and that is a late kick. It's an 8:30 kick.
That's
right?
correct. That is correct. We got I think they're going to do some youth things, youth game, I think, before that, try to get our because we kind of both have our PCYFL programs as big supporters, and, of course, that's our future. And so there's going to be a game before our game, and we'll kick off at 8:30, and that's always a packed house. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's here at the reservation at Southwestern, if it's over there at Pulaski County. It's a big game, and, it's kind of funny. It seems like a lot of times the road team has won, and a lot of years the teams that's a favorite ends up losing. So it's kind of, when we play that game, everything's off limit. It doesn't matter about records. It's a big time emotional game, and it's always a big game, and it always has a lot of implications on the season too.
And also, you end the season with a Madison Central team that is really, really good. Coach Holcomb in his first year, unbelievable things happening there in Richmond.
Well, I knew, I seen we've played Madison Central the last couple of seasons, and they've got really good athletes. And I knew once Coach Holcomb got there, he would have that thing going. And yeah, you're right. They may be the best team that we'll play all year. I mean, they're really good, and they got a really good defense, and their staff's doing a great job getting them going. So we know we got a big test there too.
Well, Coach, it's been an honor. I will holler at you again. Good luck to you the rest of the season, and I will holler at you soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Coach. Coach Jason Foley of the Southwestern Warriors. As he gets set for South Laurel this week. 7:30 kick there on the road at South Laurel. Then they'll play Pulaski County the following week. And then the home finale, Madison Central, on the 29th, the day before Halloween. So, Coach, good luck to you, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. Coach Foley, great interview. Very smart man, John. He's been there 3 years, and he's done a super job with them kids.
Yeah, it's I was looking over their stats a while ago, looking over their games, man. He's 6-1. Sounds like COVID got them, or they'd be 7-0. Put up 50 points at least 4 times, and think about Southwestern. Southwestern has great sports programs. It seems like every year Southwestern teams are good, regardless. And if they're not outstandingly loaded with talent, they still play hard and they still compete. And I don't know what they've got in the water over there, but they definitely, those programs are always highly competitive.
Yeah, no question about that. Les Dixon's going to join us back here in a little bit. He is on his vacation, and I cannot believe that he took his own vacation time to be with me. So I really do appreciate that very much, because we'll get him back. And then, we're either going to be joined by Courtney or Camille, depending if Camille got back or not. I don't know what her status was, so we'll see. But wanted to ask you a couple things about your team there, John. Football breath. I know the record's not been there. It's been a weird year for Coach Moore. He started off the year that he thought, well, we're going to play these teams, and then COVID hit. So his first 2 games was Paul Laurence Dunbar and North Laurel instead of Powell County and was it McGoffin?
Oh God, I'd have to go back.
I can't remember the first game. I think it was McGoffin or Powell was the second game that got canceled.
Let me. I'll tell you real quick. I can't remember, but it was 2 games against teams that were going to be competitive, but not 5 and 6A schools.
No. Then they picked them 2 schools up. They played Dunbar, Dunbar competitive. Then they played North Laurel, who really I know in that game Jalen did not play. Jalen was out with.
Jalen started showing symptoms right before kickoff, so they took him to have him tested, and ended up being strep.
So not COVID, just strep.
They got everything done. They had to wait for the test results and everything, and so
then you guys unfortunately get hit with COVID. Then you lose the game with Hazard. Then you come back the next week and play Perry Central. Then you lose your best player coming back. He got 2 quarters in before he got his knee hurt in the second quarter.
It's Perry Central. Yeah, I think it was late first half. down with his knee, and he's out for 6 months now. So that's definitely a big lick because he was really effective for us, and he was really effective in that game. And it's just been one thing after the other. We had to take the hazard loss due to COVID, and it is what it is. But now coach and his staff have done a tremendous job of keeping those guys' spirits up through a hard time, man. Because make no mistake, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but we believe in our guys down there at Breathitt. We feel like we have a very good football team. We feel like we're going to win some games come playoff time. And Coach Moore and his staff have done a tremendous job of keeping those guys' spirits up when maybe they would have dipped some with given the situation. But we really feel like we're going to go on a good run here as the season ends and make a good run in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's going to be. They were supposed to have played Morgan not Morgan. They were supposed to have played somebody last week. They didn't play or something happened. We had off. That was off. Okay. They played Knott County this week. Right. And then they got us in 2 weeks. That's going to probably, depending on what the game between Leslie and Morgan is this week, could be for a home playoff game in 2 weeks. Yeah. So that's going to be big as well. I know as we get closer to basketball practice, John, how many kids are you going to have out that are not football players, and how are you going to prepare? Because Breathitt County, you don't know what kind of run they're going to be able to make in the playoffs.
Right. We're right now, I think we are at 9 to 10 guys in football, given on who's going to come out. We don't always know. Especially with the young guys like the freshmen and stuff who are going to come out, the guys that we know about, the varsity guys that we know about, we figure there's about 8 to 9 of those in football right now. We're going to start practice and really just go at it. That's all we can do. We're just going to try to get better. I think our first scrimmage is that the one at Betsy Lane that you were talking about for Coach Newsom there. I think that's the 11-24. I think that's right before Thanksgiving. I tell everybody. I hope we don't have our football guys. I hope we don't have our football guys then. We want them to win and win. So, we're going to practice right now as though we're going to be playing with the team that we have.
What's your other game you're going to be scrimmaging for besides the 24th?
We have Pulaski County at home on the 27th that Saturday. What we try to do, CJ, and football has been a switch for me because we didn't have it at Buckhorn. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is find teams that are a similar situation as us with football. Like a couple years ago, we scrimmaged Bell County, really strong program. So we're going to scrimmage Pulaski this year because I figure, they have a very strong chance of being missing some players too. So maybe it'll be a similar situation. So we're going to have Pulaski at home on the 11-27.
So I'm going to put that in my notes, and I'll mention that till up that happens. So 24th, they're going to be in Betsy Lane. Right. And then on the 27th, at home, they're going to play Pulaski County. Now, I can tell you Leslie County girls are going to be scrimmaging at Floyd Central on the 20th. And then we're going to Pineville, I think, 1 week later, maybe. I can't remember the date. I have to look it up. But that's what the Lady Eagles are going to be doing scrimmage-wise. The boys, Coach Rice did not tell me. I did talk to him a little bit just this week. Just wanted to get a quick word in here with him, try to get the schedule and stuff. He said it's almost done. He said he had a couple of games. He still had the schedule for dates that he would send that to me. So hopefully we'll get his scrimmages and we'll be. Want to talk this second on the WYMT Mountain Basketball Classic. The teams were announced. Coach Noble, your team is in the boys. The boys field, I think it's the best boys field I've ever seen. 8 teams that can beat anybody on a given night. You got Breathitt County, Harlan, Johnson Central, Knox, KLX, Knott, Paintsville, Perry Central, and Shelby Valley. I know they're going to come out with the seeding and the matchups here in about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe first week, second week, November. So what's your thoughts about being in the field for the YMT?
Obviously, to get accepted to play in the WYMT is a very big deal. If I'm being 1,000% honest, I wasn't crazy about the timing of the WYMT. I feel like it's kind of a disadvantage for basketball programs that do have good football programs. I do feel like it's a little bit of a disadvantage, but at the same time, it's you can't work around everything. And I know people at YMT are doing the best job they can do with that. So, it is what it is on that. But it's there's no easy draw. From looking at the schedule from the layout of the teams, we're trying to figure out who we're going to play still. I'm hoping they come out here in the next couple of weeks and tell us. But usually they don't pair up 14th region teams, so we would be playing one of the other five teams, I guess, or four teams.
I was predicting some stuff, so I predict where I'm a sports guy. I would figure Knox Central will get the number 1 seed because they're the two-time defending champion of this tournament. After that, I figured the number 2 seed will go to you guys. I think you guys are a good chance to have a 2. Even Harlan could have the 2. So I think they're both good. It doesn't really matter on the seed. I think the matchup is going to be very important because you got 3 15th region teams, 3 14th region teams, and then the rest are 13. So you got a strong field. I mean, tough games everywhere.
Yeah, it's a loaded field. I don't know if I would give us a 2. We are. I really like Paintsville. I really like Purry.
Mm-hmm.
The tournament's at Knott. Johnson Central always good. Shelby Valley Coach Rowe is tremendous. Does a great job over there. And then Harlan might be the sleeper in the mountains. I mean, they are really, really good. And Coach Cal is, he's one of the best coaches in the area by far. So,
that panorama that you're in, Harlan's in that now. That was the switch that Coach Newsom sent me this week. He said that Ashland had to come out of it because they had a prior engagement that they couldn't get out of. So Harlan took their spot. They're going to play Belfry.
Okay.
And Belfry just got in the number 1 player out of West Virginia at point guard. He's about a 6'4" point guard. He's supposed to be, he's like a top, if I understood him right, he's the top 100 player in West Virginia. And he's going to play for Belfry. So that's big time there. They already had the big 7-foot kid from last year. They had a couple other kids that transferred in there. Belfry is a team that nobody's looking at as your dark horse over there.
Belfry, I know, I've known Coach Thompson a few years. He, took over for Randy Casey there and has really done a good job of building that program. I really like their little guard, Saldine. I like Saldine a lot. I think he's an extremely underrated player. But, Belfry, for whatever reason, man, it's just it seems to be a destination these days. So, they're definitely going to be a tough out. But I'm telling you, man, the 15th region is going to be really good. I feel like 13th, 14th, and 15th are all going to be up this year. I really do. 15th region has a tremendous amount of talent. This Paintsville team that's in the WYMT tournament, I don't think people realize really how good they are.
Last year when I saw the state tournament, I quickly realized that they were a young team that is explosive. Now, they didn't play very well against Knox Central in the state tournament game, but I think what with the environment and didn't know, I think it sort of threw them off their game a little bit. But Knox Central still has got a good basketball team.
One thing about it, if you're going to get thrown off your game, you're going to get beat. It's always best to do it at Rupp Arena.
That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. They say that's a good place to get your game thrown off of. Yeah.
But then this Knox Central team, it may be one of the best teams we've seen in a while.
Well, you do know the quarterback for them is a former Corbin basketball player, the Warren kid. He's playing quarterback for Knox Central. He is probably he didn't play a whole lot for Corbin, but he's probably a top 15 player. I was going to ask Les about him when we get Les back on here, but long as you've got Turner, you're going to go a lot of places. And they've got a good young group of kids that can shoot the basketball. I don't know. The 13th region is so weird. You got Harlan, North Laurel, Corbin, South Laurel, and Knox Central. Those 5 teams are loaded with depth and loaded.
Right. Yeah. I would not sleep very much on Harlan County.
Yeah. That's what John Henson said last week. That's what John said last week.
They're a little bit younger than some of those other teams, but when Trent Noah is your younger talent, you've got a pretty good batch. Special. Trent Noah's special.
That's a pretty good young player to have on your team if you've got it. Yeah. One team I'm forgetting about too, because I think Brad's going to eventually get him going there in Bell County. It's the Bobcats in Bell County.
Absolutely, yes. Coach Sizemore, Brad does a great job. He's always been very hands-on with his youth programs and stuff like that, and he builds them from the ground up. And they're going to be he's got a good staff over there. He's put a good staff together, and they're going to be good, and they're going to be good quick, and they're going to be good for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about that. The girls' field for the WYMT Mountain Basketball Classic, I don't want to leave them out, was Belfry, the Lady Pirates, Bell County Lady Cats, the Knott County Central Lady Patriots, the Leslie County Lady Eagles are in the field for the girls, North Laurel and Shelby Valley. So the girls' field loaded too. I mean, them 6 good girls basketball teams right there.
Yeah, definitely is. Not, admittedly, I'm not quite as familiar with the girls. Obviously, I'm a little familiar with Leslie because you guys and because Coach Sparks and Coach Honeycutt at Knott County. Coach Honeycutt at Knott County and Coach B.B. King at Knott County. There's not 2 better basketball coaches anywhere in the state of Kentucky in the same school working at the time. Yep. Their teams are always good, always highly competitive, win at a high level. As far as the out of the area teams, what were those out of area teams again? Real quick.
Belfry, Bell, and North and Shelby Valley.
Okay, so North and Shelby Valley.
North is the defending champion of last year's YMT.
Shelby
Valley has the row girl from the UK commit, which she is. I'll be interested to watch her play. They got to keep her healthy. I know last year that she played some and sit out a game or 2. So, our guru is over here to the left of us, or right of us. So she can tell us more later, but she knows as much about Cassidy Rowe. If she's healthy, she's best player. I think best player in the mountains when she's healthy. And if she's not healthy, then Shelby Valley's in middle of the pack team because they depend a lot on her, So we'll get more into that a little bit later.
Jay, I might be wrong. Seems like they've had really strong middle school programs over there the last couple of years. Some of those girls be getting into high school right now, so I'd expect them to be pretty tough and probably fairly deep.
Yeah. We had Coach on the show last year, and I'm gonna bring you back here in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about the show. I'm excited about the 15th region girls because they got a lot of good teams over there. Well, I have seen you got off the goalpost.
Yes.
Yeah. Who was it? Somebody said you was on the goalpost like 2 weeks ago in Florida.
I was not on the goalpost.
Not on the goalpost. Okay, but that's false information.
I was on the field, of course.
Field. Okay. Yeah. False information. You have been a busy person.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you find time to get it just a nap in.
I know.
Just got back from Lexington because we're going to switch it up and we're going to start with UK first. But did you not think that was the best team effort Kentucky had last night in 3 or 4 years?
That was the best, no doubt they had looked already this season because there really wasn't that many mistakes. The only thing that I feel like at this point they need to improve on is I think Will Levis didn't play his best game, but everything else I thought was on point. I mean, they didn't have the turnovers that they had 2 weeks ago.
He ran over people. He was running over top of them last night.
I know the ceiling for him is higher than what he's currently.
Oh yeah.
So I think
Do you believe he could be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft?
I don't know about top 10, but I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
Like, and he's not scared. That's what I like about him, because I can't stand quarterbacks that can't take a hit or two. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, why are you playing football?
You know, yesterday in the Penn State game, their quarterback got hurt, Clifford.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He would have been the backup to go in there and probably would have led them to victory and beat Iowa.
Yeah.
Where they didn't have the no good or backup, they ended up getting beat by. So that just shows you that Kentucky made the right decision looking at the whole picture.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
I'll get your Georgia pick at the end. Let's get into week 7. Okay. Not being mean, it was a snoozer. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, there wasn't anything in week 7 that was good. I mean,
if someone asked me, like, oh, any good games? I was like,
no.
Nope. Actually, now that I think about it, nope.
I think we already knew coming in that some of these teams are false teams because they, you know, I ain't going to pick on a person's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't play, when you get in district play, you know how good your district is, and you're this team right here, you're 5, 6-0, and you get the district play and you get beat 40 points. I think that tells you something what you need to do with your schedule.
Yeah, I
if
agree.
you want to be a top tier team in your class. Sayer, for instance, and I like Coach Pennington. He's been on the show. Love his son. Great quarterback. I think they're a good football team, and I think they can play with a Pikeville, but they're not going to play in a Pikeville the way they played Friday night.
Yeah.
And you can tell not playing the competition level hurt them. Help Pikeville hurt Sayer.
I don't think anyone's gonna be able to touch Pikeville. I mean, they're they're lights out. Like, I mean, you know, technically, if you're going by AP, right? They're number 1. There's number 4. If you have a 1 versus number 4, it should not be a 43-7 game. It should be, you know, 35-21, 21-14, 21-7. It should not be 43-7. So,
but I think going into the game, I think that he wasn't worried about this first matchup. He was concerned about later down the road. Because I think he realizes that I think he believes he can beat Hazard this week. And then play him again and beat him again, and then go back and play Pikeville a second time and pull the upset. Camille is froze up on his job.
Yeah, I was just noticing that. I'm
Hopefully
sure she'll be back.
Yeah, she'll get back here in just a second. I ought to take a picture of that. That would be.
Yeah, she's dead on about RPI though. That's something somebody needs to look at.
Don't you? I can't stand the RPI. I hate that thing. The RPI in any sport, where right now we got, is useless.
Right.
You need your best teams not playing each other in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just like we talk about Southwestern and Pulaski County. They're going to play each other next week. They're going next Friday night. Not this coming Friday, but the following Friday after that.
Right.
Well, they're probably going to wind up playing each other again 3 weeks later.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not fair. I mean, even Coach Pennington mentioned it when I talked to him earlier. He said it's not fair to the teams in your district to be penalized to have to. I loved it when you played for your district championship during the regular season. It meant more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not, it don't mean nothing anymore. The regular season is just 10 games just to get through it, I think. Because the RPI has destroyed Kentucky high school football. I mean, Camille knows this. Me and her, John, sat here last year, and we had almost a bloomful argument over the RPI because it's useless. It's just so useless.
That's what we were talking about. Why Camille was gone. She had made the point about 1 versus 4, and that's ridiculous. There can't be that much distance between a 1 and a 4. That happens in no other sport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To me, RPI, like I've just seen this so much this year and last year too with COVID, like it screws teams over because no one wants to play Pikeville, no one wants to play Johnson Central. I mean,
Right.
before no one wants to play Belfry because it doesn't matter if you're a 6A team and you play a team like that, and even if you win or lose, like it doesn't help your RPI. So people are
Right.
so freaking number and not actually about getting better or making your team better, and it just irritates the fire out of me.
Well, you guys may know more about this than I do, but like, there's no real benefit to playing out of state. Louisville Trinity goes and beats the number 1 team in Ohio. I mean, right? The number 1 team in Ohio goes and beats them, and then the RPI treats it like, they beat Atherton or somebody. I don't know. It was
Trinity has played 7 games this year, John. 5 of them have been out of state. Illinois, 2 Ohio, Indiana, and Florida. They played Mayo, Ballard, and St. X and lost all 3 games.
Yeah, I think that speaks to what she's saying. Nobody will play them. Nobody will play them. There's no benefit to playing them. Who wants to go play and get beat 60 points?
Well, North Laurel, you guys, Camille, North Laurel was going to go play them last year. They were loading up the bus and ready to go. But then COVID hit in week 10, they couldn't get a chance to go play that game. And I know Coach Larkey, he would have right up there and play right rhythm.
Yeah.
He would have went right there and said, okay, guys, bring your best 11. I've got mine. Let's play. I ain't afraid of nobody. He's not.
But how many people are actually like that, though? There's not many.
Very few. Very few. I mean, I was looking at last week's games, and the best game probably was Leslie Knott. And it was a Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
It had the most excitement because it come right down to the last minute. Look at your top 10. This is top 10. Now listen, John, top 10 scores. Corbin 56, Knox Central 0. Southwestern 50, Whitley County 16. Pikeville 43, Sayre 7. Pulaski County 40, North Laurel 16. Letcher Central 54, Clay County 18. Lawrence County 42, Pike Central 6. Bell County 46, Garrett County 34, and Middlesboro 1, and Morgan County 0 because it was COVID.
Right. And I'm sure that game would have been another one of the, would have been a score would have been similar to any of the other games that was played there. Middlesboro's got a pretty nice squad. So.
Okay. Well, we get into week 8, and I found a game or two I think I can jump on. I think could be pretty good. I think the Hazard-Sayre game is really going to be a good football game. I really do believe that. I mean, I think Sayre's going to play. I think Sayre will play better. I think Hazard's going to be up for the moment for the challenge. Prairie Central's going to build off of their game against Johnson Central because they were down 7-0 at a half. I know Johnson Central blowed them out in the second half, but Prairie Central's got to feel good for the future, but to be able to hang in there with the Johnson Central team that's had so much go wrong with them. I mean, so much heartache and heartbreak. But I think Prairie Central feels a little bit better about themselves after that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Corbin needs to be aware of Lincoln. That's scary.
I could single thing about Lincoln County this year. Not a single
They're
thing.
not bad.
Who they played?
It's at Lincoln. Lincoln's good at home. So Corbin's going to be they're going to be a little weary. This is going to be a good game, I think. Pineville at Williamsburg. Now, I don't know what your game of the week is. What's your game of the week?
Why did you ask me this?
Because you're the one supposed to tell me these things.
Oh, God. Hold on. I need to look.
Well, while she's looking.
I don't have it memorized.
I want to see. Betsy Lane, even though they played Racing last week, they got beat 60-some to 20-some. They got Paintsville. What Paintsville team will show up against Betsy Lane?
Yeah, that's a big if.
Yeah.
Or what team, like you said.
And John, you got the Patriots coming to Jackson. And I'll tell you what, Knox County can score.
Right.
That quarterback they've got, he is really good.
Yeah, that's Kaiser, isn't it? Kaiser Sloan?
Yeah, Kaiser Sloan.
Kaiser's
broke
good
the record this year.
Well, he threw for 300 yards the other night against Lester County.
Yeah. Good athlete, tough kid. Kaiser Sloan is, So and then I know they've got Landon Smith there at receiver. Landon's a pretty nice player as well. So I mean, he obviously works football.
He caught 5 balls for about 100 yards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been he's one of these guys that's been around all these the Division I college visits here lately too. So there's something there. But like I said, with our team, we feel really good about our team. We've had a lot of bad breaks. Yeah. And like I said, Coach Moore has done a tremendous job keeping spirits up through a hard time, and we feel like we're really getting ready to gain some momentum.
Yeah, I agree. Lawrence County and Belfry, is that your game of the week? Or no, probably not, because you're not allowed to do Belfry games at Belfry.
See, the issue why I don't want to say who it is or like why I don't know is because there was one week that we had 2 options, and I can't remember if that was this week or if it was the 17th or not.
What?
The 15th, I mean. I'm trying to find it. Just give me a second. I'll find it eventually.
I know that in 2 weeks you guys are probably going to be at Pulaski County, right?
For which one?
For Pulaski County and Southwestern.
Yeah, we normally do that game.
Yeah.
I
was talking with Coach Foley right before you come on, and he's excited to see. Well, he's a good coach. I like talking with him. He was a very energetic man. He's like he said, he's come into 2 programs with legendary figures when they left to go to other places. So he's had his hands full. So he's done a good job, though. Well, you'll tell me later in the week what it is.
Okay,
you're not for sure.
Thought it was. I found it. I thought it was at Perry, but I didn't want to misspeak. So yes, it is Clay County at Perry.
Clay at Perry.
Then the following. Yes, Clay at Perry, and then the next, not this Friday, but the next Friday is the one that was still up in the air as to which game we're doing. So that's why I wanted to double check. So yeah, Clay at Perry.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
That should be hopefully.
It should be a good ball game. Yeah, should be. It's going to be funny, though, tomorrow when you go to your Mountaintop 10, you ain't going to lose nobody. If North Laurel might move, they're going to move, but
they'll drop for sure.
Yeah, but they're not going to drop out because, so the same 10 are going to be there, but there's going to be just a little bit different order. But, I got North in my top 10, number 8, and I'm going to tell you right now, I can't find nobody else to put in there to replace them.
Well, people were complaining that we didn't have Betsy Lane in our top 10 because they were 6-0. And I thought about it, but it all comes back to strength of schedule. I'm not putting Betsy Lane at number 2 when they've played Jenkins, Morgan County, Fairview, teams like that. When Pikeville's lost to Madison Central, LCA. They beat Williamsburg, Ohio. That to me matters. So I told myself, I was like, if Betsy Lane puts up just a fight against Raceland, I'll put them in. Well, they lost by 30 or something crazy. So I was like, well, sorry. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, there was no, you have to worry about that one. Nope. I think going the final 3 weeks, I think we know who's who. We don't really need to even study it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But what's a shame is the second round of playoffs, we're going to lose probably 8 or 9 teams that are really good because they got to play in a district championship game. And I don't like that because I think those teams are better than some of your other teams and make the regional final really good.
Right. So that's what I hate about Letcher.
I know.
Jason.
I know it's
Fletcher
we're 2
Central's
weeks
good
away.
this year.
Yeah.
but-
Well, I know the first 2 weeks you don't have to worry about that RPI, but then after that, it's just destroys the rest of the season after that because you don't know where half your teams are at.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Let's more shift gears for just 1 second. What about Georgia Saturday? What are you thinking?
Kentucky loses.
So just get right into it. Yeah. Can
No,
they
I
play?
mean,
Can they play with Georgia?
I don't think. I mean, don't quote me on that, but to me, Georgia and Alabama are at another level, and no one can touch them. I think Kentucky would have to play. They would have
Texas
to play.
A&M touched off. Texas A&M touched Alabama last night, but I think that might have been like John said. John said it's probably just a matter of they caught them looking ahead, maybe, or there's been so much talk about former coaches beating him that
Right.
But I would hate to be Mississippi. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
10 in a row? Was it? That's a lot of football. That's a lot of football games.
It was a lot.
I think if nothing else, it's probably just going to make Alabama mad the rest of the season.
I'd hate to be Mississippi State Saturday night. I know it's in Starkville, but that's the only thing going for them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get beat 70. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, because they're going to be so mad going in there. They're just, and it's a primetime game too.
It's definitely going to hurt Mississippi State's RPI. Definitely.
Yeah. RPI in college matters though, because if that's where the one time the RPI would actually matter. It's not going to matter right now. Not in high school football.
Right.
But it is. It's right there.
Nope.
Last week I asked Courtney about I said you ain't gonna have no rest for the weary because basketball practice starts here in a couple weeks. Your round ball previews are gonna start up here in a couple weeks. And basketball, you got so many more coaches and teams to cover your round ball, which is the Dairy Queen, unless you change it, it's gonna be the Dairy Queen round ball preview. But
yeah, I don't know if we have a sponsor yet or not. That's a good question.
Oh, well, last year it was the Dairy Queen round ball preview.
Right.
And John Noble's ready for his preview right now.
Yeah, are they going to give us some food or what's going on?
He's ready.
John, I think you know at this point. I truly have no idea. At this point when people are like, "So what's happening?" Like Wednesday, Friday, I'm like, "Listen, it is one day at a time. Like one day at a time."
Listen, that's all right. I don't think a lot of people know just how much you guys do up there. We appreciate it. We all do.
I really do.
You guys, for the limited amount of staff you guys deal with, a lot of times, as much information as you get out there for these kids, it's pretty tremendous. It's pretty amazing.
Well, if it wasn't for the mountain sports, would be a ghost town because nobody would cover them. I mean, I would try to cover them, but I mean, I would try to cover them, but it'd be hard. But so let's see, Kyle Maggard.
But yeah, so let's we've got soccer region. That I think that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We got Big Blue Madness Friday.
Tuesday. Volleyball starts Tuesday.
Volleyball. Thank you for that, CJ. Yes. Volleyball starts Tuesday. No, I'm saying that's just adding on. I was like, crap, I forgot about volleyball. I thought it was. We got Big Blue Madness on Friday. High school football, obviously. Thank God Kentucky's on the road this week, so that at least gives us some sort of leverage. And then it's like, okay, do it all again the next week. So, whatever. It happens.
Yes, I know it's not going to get any easier for you guys because I know, like I said, I know John's ready to get in the gym. He's ready to get them. He's ready to get them Bobcats in there and ready to roll.
Yeah, I think everybody is. This time of year, I think everybody gets a little bit antsy, and we're definitely not any different.
When's the first
I lost you there, Camille. What?
When's the first official? When's the
first
first official day of practice?
First official practice is Friday the 15th.
Ooh, okay. So 5 days.
Yep.
Who do y'all play for your first game?
Our first actual game, we've got the Wellspring Guardians. It's a pretty solid homeschool team out of Richmond, actually. So there's a lot of homeschool teams out there. They're one of the better ones.
Cool.
John should have this information, but if you don't have it, there's going to be a big panorama going on 24th November at the Betsy Lane. Some of the better teams in boys basketball are going to be there that night. Shelby Valley, Letcher Central, Cordia, Johnson Central, Eastridge, Breathitt, Knox Central, Harlan, Belfry. So
that's stacked.
Stacked. Yeah, very stacked.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling John about, I don't know if you'd heard, the big point guard coming to Belfry.
Who?
Come from West Virginia. One supposed to be a top 100.
What's his name?
I just saw it briefly. I didn't get to catch his name.
Someone told me on Friday that this year might be the first time in Belfry's history that they haven't had a white kid start on their team. Seriously. And I was like, that would make sense because you got DeMaji Clark, Saldine, Bolker, the new kid, and then there's one other kid that I don't know too.
They've got they still got the 7-footer?
Yeah, Bull.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to watch them play. Do you play Belfry, John?
No, not on the schedule.
I would love to watch them play. I wonder if they're going to be close by.
You said they're going to be at Betsy Lane, right?
Yeah, but we play that night, girls. We're going to play Floyd Central that night. We play, actually play Floyd Central. So I can't go that night. I would have really, I would have went and checked. Huh?
Do what now?
Come back again. I didn't hear you. I think she said Hazard plays Belfry.
Sure they played
Belfry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
they played Hazard.
I can see that.
Or like
they did.
Belfry played Hazard.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're still looking for a couple of home games. Yeah. So, hey, if you got anybody, we'll play.
Announcement. John Noble needs a game. He needs some home games. So please
home game.
Home games. Please contact John Noble. He needs home games.
This is no joke. I send out 3 statewide emails usually a week saying we need everybody needs somewhere somebody has 30 home games. I don't know who they are, but somebody's got 30 home games. Every coach you talk to says they don't have any. But we really don't have any home.
Well, they don't want to travel. They wanted 30 home games. They didn't want to travel.
Every week saying we need a home game. And then without fail, 10 minutes later, I get an email back that says, Coach, I know you need a home game, but would you come play us?
There's that but. Yeah.
And but we do in all seriousness, we are trying to get a couple more home games in.
I will make this a point of mine to announce that from week to week, John. I will help you out.
I appreciate
it. Miss Camille, I'm going to let you go because I know you're tired, you're killed, you need some rest. I don't know who will be with me next week, but you'll let me know during the week.
I'm going to watch my Volunteers play. I'm excited. So,
who they got this week?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. That could be a high scoring game.
CJ, I don't care what the score is as long as
okay, she's cutting out, John.
Yes,
but I think she is telling us that she's just glad to be there and watch the game. So
yeah, I think
we want to thank Camille for being a part of the show. I will get with her, text her, and let her know how much we appreciate her being on the show. All right, let me get a few notes in them. John, I'll let you get your final comments. But before I do that, I want to show you a few final messages. Kyle, that's all Noble needs is food. Okay. Still picking on you. Looking like looks like John ain't seen a gym in a while. That's setting up something good. And John just doesn't get Keith Hall those games if he picked.
Just don't get.
She was telling me about her Wi-Fi messed up. Something that, well. So Kyle's been busy tonight. He's done very well. Okay. Want to thank everybody that called, left comments. You guys did great tonight in the comments. Beautiful. I mean, you guys off the charts tonight. I'm so proud of you. Our guest, with everybody here, Les checked in. I appreciate that on his vacation. And I'm going to try to get him back next week because he'll be back home and I didn't know of his vacation. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have bothered him. But I want to thank Coach Foley. I want to thank Coach Barger from West Carter. Those are two great interviews. And Camille, awesome as usual. Also, I want to thank Camille. I'm going to text her after we get off the air, tell her that she was great. I know her internet problems sometimes. I have them. I've had them before. I'm going to let John give his final comments in just a second. I want to let everybody know I'll be back with you on Wednesday night, October 13th, for the C.J. Harris Football Report, Week 8 of my rankings, picks, and much more. And then I'll be back with you Sunday night for episode number 12 of the C.J. Harris Show. I can tell you my co-host. It's going to be William Warfield, the owner of Prep Spin. He's going to be my co-host. And one of my guests already is going to be Coach John Hines from Pulaski County. So those two will be on the show for sure. We'll have some other great guests as well along to go. Want to remind everybody too, I've got a YouTube channel. If you guys would go over and subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate that very much. If I can get 1,000 subscribers, we can do a lot more live stuff over there. Also, if the situation works itself out, I can go over and sell some merchandise, T-shirts and stuff like that, make some extra money that I could use to make the show better. So, and also, I haven't done this, but I'm going to do this tonight. If there's anybody out there that would be willing to advertise for me, I would love to find somebody who would help me out. I could use a couple of people to help me advertise so I could help get some better stuff for the show. So if you want to do that, leave me a private message and we'll talk to you about it. John, go ahead and give me your final comments.
Really, I appreciate you having me on here tonight. I appreciate all the guests that we've had. Just want to, tell everybody, look forward to maybe seeing some of you out at some games this year. We're all excited. Feel like mountain basketball is definitely on an uphill climb. I know everybody appreciates the sport. I know we certainly do. Just come out and see it. Come out and watch these kids play every chance you get because, not only you get to see good basketball, but, when you're paying in to the ticket gate, whether you buy online or not, or if you buy stuff in the concession stand, you're helping out kids, you're helping out schools. We talked a little bit earlier about travel and transportation, and that's a big financial burden on a lot of teams, especially right now. You talked about some of these football teams having to drive 2.5 hours for district games. Get out and support your local teams. Pay that money. Buy into the fundraisers. Do those things for these teams, for these kids, because it's much needed. I know it's much appreciated from everybody. Also, just go online. We talked a little bit about wrestling. Go online, check out Appalachian Mountain Wrestling on all the social media. They've got the YouTube show on there, all kinds of information about upcoming events. Just go online, check that stuff out. It's local professional wrestling, featuring myself, guys like Kyle Maggard and other people in the area, and sometimes guys from outside the area. But, it's a hard-working wrestling company. Check that out every chance you get as well.
Going to announce on the show right now, this match has already been announced. You can get your tickets starting in the morning at eventbrite.com for Thanksgiving Turmoil on Thanksgiving night, November 25th, 7 o'clock bell time. One of the matches has already been signed. It's going to be our good friend, Mr. John Noble, taking on our other good friend, Mr. Kyle Maggard. They're going to go 1-on-1. So that night, that'll be part of probably 7 or 8 matches that night. So we'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. We'll have Kyle on the show getting closer to Thanksgiving Turmoil, and we'll let him promote that. And also on the 23rd, where AMW is going to be in Bergen, Kentucky. the Berkeley High School there. Going to put on a live event there. So that will be a lot of fun. John, do not leave me when we get off.
I just want to clear everybody. We're talking about the Thanksgiving event coming up. There's a, make sure you check out the television next couple of weeks because it does kind of, everything falls into place for that event. So.
Something about a size 14 boot. I guess he's already getting the trash talking in for the show.
Well, when you got a size 48 waist, you probably got to have a big foot toted up. But anyway, with that said,
all right, John. Do not leave me when we get off the air because I'm going to say something after we get off.
Okay. I appreciate you having me on, CJ.
Always. I love having you on here, John Noble. You're just a ball of fun, and you're like Winston Lee. I always tell Winston, I say, my basketball coaches, when I have you guys on here, we always seem to really have a lot of laughter because I don't know. It's just something about you guys. You just make me laugh. And
you have to laugh or you go crazy in this business.
Yeah. But want to say, as I always end every show, this is CJ Howard saying, this is CJ Howard ready third and heading for home. Good night, everybody. And we'll see you later. God bless you. See you Wednesday night for the CJ Sports Report and Sunday night for episode 12 of the CJ Howard Show. Good night, everybody.